The speech from Oedipus at Colonus. Endure what life God gives and ask no longer span. Cease to remember the delights of youth, travel-wearied, aged man. Delight becomes death longing, if all longing else be vain. Even from that delight memory treasures so, death, despair, division of families, all entanglements of mankind grow, as that old wandering beggar and these God-hated children know. In the long echoing street the laughing dancers throng. The bride is carried to the bridegroom's chamber through torchlight and tumultuous song. I celebrate the silent kiss that ends life short or long. Never to have lived is best, ancient writers say. Never to have drawn the breath of life, never to have looked into the eye of day. The second best's a gay good night, and quickly turn away. Three things. O cruel death, give three things back, sang a bone upon the shore. A child found all a child can lack, whether of pleasure or of rest, upon the abundance of my breast. A bone wave whitened and dried in the wind. Three dear things that women know, sang a bone upon the shore. A man, if I but held him so, when my body was alive, found all the pleasure that life gave. A bone wave whitened and dried in the wind. The third thing that I think of yet, sang a bone upon the shore, is that morning when I met face to face my rightful man, and did after stretch and yawn. A bone wave whitened and dried in the wind. The circus animal's desertion. I sought a theme and sought for it in vain. I sought it daily for 6 weeks or so. Maybe at last, being but a broken man, I must be satisfied with my heart, although winter and summer till old age began, my circus animals were all on show. Those stilted boys, that burnished chariot, lion and woman and the Lord knows what. What can I but enumerate old themes? First, that sea rider Usheen led by the nose through 3 enchanted islands, allegorical dreams, vain gaiety, vain battle, vain repose, themes of the embittered heart, or so it seems, that might adorn old songs or courtly shows. But what cared I that set him on to ride? I, starved for the bosom of his fairy bride. And then the counter-truth filled out its play. The Countess Kathleen was the name I gave it. She, pity-crazed, had given her soul away, but masterful heaven had intervened to save it. I thought my dear must her own soul destroy, so did fanaticism and hate enslave it, and this brought forth a dream, and soon enough this dream itself had all my thought and love. And when the fool and blind man stole the bread, Cuchulainn fought the ungovernable sea. Heart mysteries there, and yet when all is said, it was the dream itself enchanted me. Character isolated by a deed to engross the present and dominate memory. Players and painted stage took all my love, and not those things that they were emblems of. Those masterful images, because complete, grew in pure mind, but out of what began a mound of refuse or the sweepings of a street, old kettles, old bottles, and a broken can, old iron, old bones, old rags, that raving slut who keeps the till. Now that my ladder's gone, I must lie down where all the ladders start, in the foul rag and bone shop of the heart. Leda and the Swan. A sudden blow, the great wings beating still above the staggering girl, her thighs caressed by the dark webs, her nape caught in his bill. He holds her helpless breast upon his breast. How can those terrified, vague fingers push the feathered glory from her loosening thighs? And how can body, laid in that white rush, but feel the strange heart beating where it lies? A shudder in the loins engenders there the broken wall, the burning roof and tower, and Agamemnon dead. Being so caught up, so mastered by the brute blood of the air, did she put on his knowledge with his power, before the indifferent beak could let her drop. Solomon and the Witch. And thus declared that Arab lady, last night where under the wild moon on grassy mattress I had laid me, within my arms, great Solomon, I suddenly cried out in a strange tongue, not his, not mine. Who understood whatever has been said, sighed, sung, howled, meowed, barked, brayed, belled, yelled, cried, crowed, thereon replied. A cockerel crew from a blossoming apple bough 300 years before the fall, and never crew again till now, and would not now, but that he thought, chance being at one with choice at last, all that the brigand apple brought, and this foul world were dead at last. He that crowed out eternity thought to have crowed it in again, For though love has a spider's eye to find out some appropriate pain, though all passions in the glance, for every nerve and tests a lover with cruelties of choice and chance. And when at last that murder's over, maybe the bride bed brings despair, for each an imagined image brings, and finds a real image there. Yet the world ends when these two things, though several, are a single light, when oil and wick are burned in one. Therefore a blessed moon last night gave Sheba to her Solomon. Yet the world stays. If that be so, your cockerel found us in the wrong, although he thought it worth a crow. Maybe an image is too strong, or maybe is not strong enough. The night has fallen, not a sound in the forbidden sacred grove, unless the petal hits the ground, nor any human sight within it, but the crushed grass where we have lain. And the moon is wilder every minute. Oh, Solomon, let us try again.
Long-legged fly. That civilization may not sink, its great battle lost. Quiet the dog, tether the pony to a distant post. Our master Caesar is in the tent where the maps are spread, his eyes fixed upon nothing, a hand under his head. Like a long-legged fly upon the stream, his mind moves upon silence. That the topless towers be burnt and men recall that face, move most gently if move you must in this lonely place. She thinks part woman, 3 parts a child, that nobody looks. Her feet practice a tinker shuffle picked up on a street. Like a long-legged fly upon the stream, her mind moves upon silence. That girls at puberty may find the first Adam in their thought, shut the door of the Pope's chapel, keep these children out. There on that scaffolding reclines Michelangelo, with no more sound than the mice make. His hand moves to and fro, like a long-legged fly upon the stream. His mind moves upon silence.
The 3 bushes. Said lady once to lover, none can rely upon a love that lacks its proper food. And if your love were gone, how could you sing those songs of love? I should be blamed, young man. Oh, my dear, oh, my dear. Have no lit candles in your room, that lovely lady said, that I at midnight by the clock may creep into your bed. For if I saw myself creep in, I think I should drop dead. Oh, my dear, Oh, my dear, I love a man in secret, dear chambermaid, said she. I know that I must drop down dead if he stop loving me. Yet what could I but drop down dead if I lost my chastity? Oh, my dear, oh, my dear. So you must lie beside him and let him think me there, and maybe we are all the same where no candles are, and maybe we are all the same that strip the body bare. Oh, my dear, oh, my dear. But no dogs barked, and midnight chimed, and through the chime she'd say, that was a lucky thought of mine, my lover looked so gay. But heaved a sigh if the chambermaid looked half asleep all day. Oh, my dear, oh, my dear. No, not another song, said he, because my lady came a year ago for the last time at midnight to my room, and I must lie between the sheets when the clock begins to chime. Oh, my dear, oh, my dear. A laughing, crying, leching song, a sacred song, they said. Did ever men hear such a song? No, but that night they did. Did ever man ride such a race? No, not until he rode. Oh, my dear, oh, my dear. But when his horse had put its hoof into a rabbit hole, he dropped upon his head and died. His lady saw it all, and dropped and died thereon, for she loved him with all her soul. Oh, my dear, oh, my dear. The chambermaid lived long and took their graves into her charge, and there 2 bushes planted that when they had grown large seemed sprung from but a single root, so did their roses merge. Oh, my dear, oh, my dear. When she was old and dying, the priest came where she was. She made a full confession, long looked he in her face, and oh, he was a good man and understood her case. Oh, my dear, oh, my dear. He bade them take and bury her beside her lady's men, and set a rose tree on her grave, and now none living can, when they have plucked a rose there, know where its roots began. Oh, my dear, oh, my dear.
The second part of a dialogue of self and soul. A living man is blind and drinks his drop. What matter if the ditches are impure? What matter if I live it all once more? Endure that toil of growing up, the ignominy of boyhood, the distress of boyhood changing into man, the unfinished man and his pain brought face to face with his own clumsiness, the finished man among his enemies. How in the name of heaven can he escape that defiling and disfigured shape the mirror of malicious eyes casts upon his eyes until at last he thinks that shape must be his shape? And what's the good of an escape if honor find him in the wintry blast? I am content to live it all again, and yet again, if it be life to pitch into the frog spawn of a blind man's ditch, a blind man battering blind men, or into that most fecund ditch of all, the folly that man does or must suffer if he woos a proud woman not kindred of his soul. I am content to follow to its source every event in action or in thought, measure the lot, forgive myself the lot. When such as I cast out remorse, so great a sweetness flows into the breast, we must laugh and we must sing. We are blessed by everything. Everything we look upon is blessed.
For Anne Gregory. Never shall a young man thrown into despair by those great honey-colored ramparts at your ear love you for yourself alone and not your golden hair. But I can get a hair dye and set such color there, brown or black or carrot, that young men in despair may love me for myself alone and not my yellow hair. I heard an old religious man but yesternight declare that he had found a text to prove that only God, my dear, could love you for yourself alone and not your yellow hair.
McNeice, the libertine. In the old days, with married women's stockings twisted round his bedpost, he felt himself a gay dog, but now his liver has begun to groan. Now that pickups are the order of the day, oh, leave me easy, leave me alone. Voluptuary in his teens and cynic in his 20s, he ran through women like a child through growing hay, looking for a lost toy whose capture might atone for his own guilt and the cosmic disarray. Oh, leave me easy, leave me alone. He never found the toy and has forgotten the faces, only remembers the props, a scent spray beside the bed or a milk-white telephone. Oh, leave me easy, leave me alone. Long fingers over the gunwale, hair in a hairnet, furs in January, cartwheel hats in May, and after the event, the wish to be alone. Angels, goddesses, bitches, all have edged away. Oh, leave me easy, leave me alone. So now, in middle age, his erotic program torn in two. If after such a delay an accident should offer him his own fulfillment in a woman, still he would say, oh, leave me easy, leave me alone. Barker, News of the World. In the first year of the last disgrace, peace, turning her face away, coughing in laureled fires, weeping, drags out from her hatcheted heart the sunset acts of the day. And leaning up against the red sky, she mourns over evening cities. The milky morning springs from her mothering breast. I am the wife of the workman world, with an apron full of children, and happy any hovel was, with my helping hand under his gifted head, and for my sleep his shoulder. I wish that the crestfallen stars would fall out of his drunken eye and strike my children cold. I wish the big sea would pity them and pity me and smother us all alike. Bitter sun, put out your lions as I have put out my hope. For he will take them in his clever hand and teach them how to dismember love, just as though it was Europe. Oh, washing board time, my hands are sore and the backs of the angels ache. For the red-handed husband has abandoned me to drag his coat in front of his pride, and I know my heart will break. In the first year of the last disgrace, peace turning her face away, puffing in fire and laurels, weeping, bared again her butchered heart to the sunrise acts of the day. Delamere at the keyhole. Grill me some bones, said the cobbler, some bones, my pretty Sue. I'm tired of my lonesome with heels and soles, spring sides and uppers too. A mouse in the wainscot is nibbling, a wind in the keyhole drones, and a sheet webbed over my candle, Susie. Grill me some bones. Grill me some bones, said the cobbler, as I sat at my tic-tac-toe, and a footstep came to my door and stopped, and a hand groped to and fro, and I peered up over my boot and lust, and my feet went cold as stones. I saw an eye at the keyhole, Susie. Grill me some bones. McNeath, the novelist. He had fought for the wrong causes, had married the wrong wife, had invested rashly, had lost his health and his reputation, his fortune and his looks, who in his youth had gone walking on the crown of the road under delectable trees and over irresponsible moors to find the rainbow's end, and was now at 49 living in a half-timbered cottage with a pale mistress and some gardening books and a life of Napoleon. When she left him, he took the shears and clipped the hedge, and then, taking a shotgun as if for duck, went out walking on the crown of the road. Davies, A Woman's History. When Mary Price was 5 years old and had a bird that died, she laid its body under flowers and called her friends to pray to God and sing sad hymns for hours. When she, before her 15th year, was ruined by a man, the neighbors sought him out and said, "You'll come along and marry her or hang till you are dead." When they had found the child he wronged and playing with her doll, "I'll come along with you," said she, "but I'll not marry anyone unless my doll's with me." With no more love-seat in her than the wax upon her arm, with no more love-light in her eyes than in the glass eyes of her doll, nor wonder nor surprise. When Mary Price was 35 and he was lying dead, she wept as though her heart would break, but neighbors winked to see her tears fall on a lover's neck. Now Mary Price is 75 and skinning eels alive. She, active, strong, and full of breath, has caught the cat that stole an eel and beaten it to death. Florence, whales weep not. They say the sea is cold, but the sea contains the hottest blood of all, and the wildest, the most urgent. All the whales in the wider deeps hot are they, as they urge on and dive beneath the icebergs. The right whales, the sperm whales, the hammerheads, the killers, there they blow hot, wild, white breath out of the sea. And they rock through the sensual, ageless ages on the depth of the seven seas, and through the salt they reel with drunk delight, and in the tropics tremble they with love, and roll with massive, strong desire like gods. Then the great bull lies up against his bride in the blue deep of the sea, as mountain pressing on mountain in the zest of life. And out of the inward roaring of the inner red ocean of whale blood, the long tip reaches strong, intense, like the maelstrom tip, and comes to rest in the clasp and the soft, wild clutch of a she-whale's fathomless body. And over the bridge of the whale's strong phallus, linking the wonder of whales, the burning archangels under the sea keep passing back and forth, from him to her, from her to him, great cherubim that wait on whales in mid-ocean, suspended in the waves of the sea, great heaven of whales in the waters, old hierarchies. And enormous mother whales lie dreaming, suckling their whale-tender young, and dreaming with strange whale eyes wide open in the waters of the beginning and the end. And bull whales gather their women and whale calves in a ring when danger threatens on the surface of the ceaseless flood, and range themselves like great fierce seraphim facing the threat, encircling their huddled monsters of love. And all this happiness in the sea, in the salt where God is also love, but without words. And Aphrodite is the wife of whales, most happy, happy she. And Venus among the fishes skips and is a she-dolphin. She is the gay, delighted porpoise, sporting with love and the sea. She is the female tunny fish, round and happy among the whales, and dense with happy blood, dark rainbow bliss in the sea. Auden, September the 1st, 1939. I sit in one of the dives on 52nd Street, uncertain and afraid as the clever hopes expire of a low, dishonest decade. Waves of anger and fear circulate over the bright and darkened lands of the earth, obsessing our private lives. The unmentionable odor of death offends the September night. Accurate scholarship can unearth the whole offense from Luther until now that has driven a culture mad. I and the public know what all school children learn. Those to whom evil is done do evil in return. Exiled Thucydides knew all that a speech can say about democracy and what dictators do. The elderly rubbish they talk to an apathetic grave analyzed all in his book. The enlightenment driven away, the habit forming pain, mismanagement and grief. We must suffer them all again. Into this neutral air where blind skyscrapers use their full height to proclaim the strength of collective man, each language pours its vain competitive excuse. But who can live for long in an euphoric dream? Out of the mirror they stare, imperialism's face and the international wrong. Faces along the bar cling to their average day. The lights must never go out, the music must always play. All the conventions conspire to make this fort assume the furniture of home, lest we should see where we are, lost in a haunted wood, children afraid of the night, who have never been happy or good. The windiest, militant, trash, important person shout is not so crude as our wish. What Mad Nijinsky wrote about Diaghilev is true of the normal heart. For the error bred in the bone of each woman and each man craves what it cannot have, not universal love, but to be loved alone. From the conservative dark into the ethical life, the dense commuters come, repeating their morning vow, I will be true to the wife, I'll concentrate more on my work. And helpless governors awake to resume their compulsory game. Who can release them now? Who can reach the deaf? Who can speak for the dumb? Defenseless under the night, our world in stupor lies. Yet dotted everywhere, ironic points of light flash out wherever the just exchange their messages. May I, composed like them of eros and of dust, beleaguered by the same negation and despair, show an affirming flame.
The clock strikes 11. Ah, Faustus, now hast thou but one bare hour to live, and then thou must be damned perpetually. Stand still, you ever-moving spheres of heaven, that time may cease and midnight never come. Fair nature's eye, rise again and make perpetual day. Or let this hour be but a year, a month, a week, a natural day, that Faustus may repent and save his soul. The stars move still. Time runs, the clock will strike, the devil will come, and Faustus must be damned. Oh, I'll leap up to my God, who pulls me down. See where Christ's blood streams in the firmament. One drop would save my soul, half the drop. Oh, my Christ, ah, rend not my heart for naming of my Christ. Yet will I call on him. Oh, spare me, Lucifer. Where is it now? 'Tis gone, and see where God stretcheth out his arm and bends his ireful brows. Mountains and hills, come, come and fall on me, and hide me from the heavy wrath of God. No, no. Then will I run headlong into the earth. Gape. Oh no, it will not harbor me. You stars that reigned at my nativity, whose influence has allotted death and hell, now draw up Faustus like a foggy mist into the entrails of yon laboring clouds, that when they vomit forth into the air, my limbs may issue from their smoky mouths, so that my soul may but ascend to heaven. Ah, half the hour is past. 'Twill all be past anon. O God, if thou wilt not have mercy on my soul, yet for Christ's sake, whose blood hath ransomed me, impose some end to my incessant pain. Let Faustus live in hell 1,000 years, 100,000, and at last be saved. Oh, no end is limited to damned souls. Why wert thou not a creature wanting soul? Oh, why is this immortal that thou hast? Ah, Pythagoras' metempsychosis, were that true, this soul should fly from me, and I be changed unto some brutish beast. All beasts are happy, for when they die, their souls are soon dissolved in elements. But mine must live, still to be plagued in hell. Cursed be the parents that engendered me. No, Faustus, curse thyself. Curse Lucifer that hath deprived thee of the joys of heaven. Oh, it strikes. It strikes. Now, body, turn to air, or Lucifer will bear thee quick to hell. O soul, be changed into little water drops, and fall into the ocean, ne'er to be found. My God, look not so fierce on me. Adders and serpents, let me breathe a while. Ugly hell, gape not. Come not, Lucifer. I'll burn my book